Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Magic Tribe, depending on where you are. I'm Nina Diedrich, and this is episode number 6 of Tarot and Truth. So, I hope you guys have been enjoying the new daily messages. And I've had quite a bit of new stuff coming through lately. So, hello, Sandra. Thank you so much for your donation, by the way. It was epically helpful. It is what helps keep me here with you guys all the time. So I love, 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 love to see it. All right. So we are still talking about receiving. It is the theme of the weekend. And I don't know about you guys, but this is something that I often find challenging because when I receive things, I have a tendency, instead of using them for myself, to use them for the good of everyone else. See what I mean? So your donation, actually, Sandra, was epically helpful for me because I actually did something for myself for once. Yay me! So it was opportune timing. Thank you very much for your help in that lesson. As for everything else, the message that's still coming through is we need to ask and then learn how to receive it, right? How often do we say, wow, I really wish I could afford that car or that house or that new book or that new tarot deck? And then we find 20 bucks laying on the ground. And then instead of using that 20 bucks that the universe gave us for that thing, whatever it was, how little or small or whatever, we use it for something else that we need instead, right? Instead of something that we want. What if we started using it for more things that we want instead, right? We have our paychecks and things like that for the things that we need. But the extra stuff is supposed to go for us, right? It's a reward for our hard work. But for some of us, it's really hard to accept a reward for something we would do anyway, right? But what if we allowed ourselves to do that? How much could it change, right? Oh, thank you. And then that way, though, we're all helping each other. And that's really how reality meshes together. This is how we get all of our different realities to fit together to make one big puzzle. Okay. So it could be that, I needed a lesson in receiving. Somebody else needs a lesson in giving, or vice versa, depending on the situation. So every time we interact with another person or group of people, there's some sort of a lesson that's supposed to be learned by that process. Happy Sunday, Ronnie. Welcome. And then as we're going through that process of interacting with that person, if we stay open to those opportunities and the synchronicities that are being presented to us, we may hear a message for us, whether it's you're from the same place, or you knew the same person, or you have the same idea about something. There's some part of you that will connect. But often we don't interact with people long enough or with a high enough vibration in order for that message to totally come through. And I think that's really what a lot of us are trying to work more into. So, excuse me. So as we're starting to interact more and more with people who are on our same wavelength, because a lot of us have ditched a lot of the toxicity over the last, 3-4 months or 3 or 4 years or 10 or 11 years, depending on however long you've been in this process, right? And it'll shift back and forth. We'll bring some back and then, get rid of some, or, collect a new one and go, wow, I'm repeating the same thing again, and backtrack a little bit. But we never quite get back down to the level where we started from, right? So where you were last year at this time is probably mind-bogglingly different than where you are right this second, right? I know I'm a whole separate being from what I was last year at this time. If you go back to the beginning of the channel and look through my first, 10, 20 videos, and then go back and look at these videos that are coming out now, you'll be like, whoa, holy growth, And that was why I did this process, was so that I would have to put myself out here every day, sometimes up to 7 times a day at times there were. And, the more and more I got out there, the more I became a better communicator. And not just with you guys here in my channeling, but also in my actual life. I'm kind of a closed clam, and it's kind of hard to get through to me sometimes because I have a hard time trusting people not to hurt me. I've had a lot of bad experiences, and it's hard for me not to carry that past into my reality now sometimes. And I constantly have to kind of have that reminder. Thank you, husband, if you end up watching this later, because I've been told bad stories about myself, and the more we believe those, the more we start behaving that way. And it wasn't until I was told a different story, and that I had different options, and that I even had options at all, honestly, that my life completely did a turnaround. But that's only been in the last, 5 years, and as I'm starting to almost hit my 40th birthday, it's kind of hitting me that I've wasted a lot of my life, and I could either look at it like that, like I wasted it, or I could look at it like, well, I just got all my lessons out of the way early so that now I can enjoy it. Right? See how that perspective shift makes a huge difference. I can sit here and piss and moan and wallow and self-pity about all the time I wasted. Or I can be like, wow, you're fucking awesome for getting all of that shit out of the way in 34 years. Right? In active practice, it was only 4. Lifetime's worth of baggage had to be unloaded. And we all have that. This is what this is all about. Us ditching our karmic baggage. Us saying, okay, enough is enough, and I'm going to be done with that. And then being done with it. And not letting it keep coming back. And this is why shadow work is so important. And we have to not just focus on, love and light and positivity, and not that doesn't have its place too, but we're not ninth dimensional yet, so we still have to deal with the same amount of the opposite polarity, which is the dog shit on our shoes, and the better and better we get at just going, okay, yeah, I picked up some more, walking through the park, hose it off and then move on, instead of getting pissed off, throwing the shoes away, and, the world ends just because you stepped in some poo. It is what it is, right? And we put entirely too much significance sometimes on the roadblocks, when sometimes that's just what they are. They're just a stopping point. It's like a stoplight. You just need to stop and let some other things go past first, and then proceed when the light turns green. Yeah, waiting sucks, but patience is a good lesson. Patience has been a crap lesson for me. I hate it. I hate being patient. I hate waiting for things. I'm like a 2-year-old who knows they're going to the zoo, or, to go get ice cream. I want it now, And so having to wait for things to go through their process is really difficult for me because I can still actively remember a time where I could be like, thanks, and have what I wanted. Yeah, but that's not, in our human lives. That was another one. But that's why children get so frustrated sometimes because we remember being, part of source where everything just is. And at some point or another, we'll probably get there again, but it's not going to be for millions of years because life is a process. Creation is a process. We are creation creating, and in the land of there is no time, all these things have already been done. And all we're really doing is connecting up with the pieces that are really ours because it sometimes gets a little mixed up in the big giant bag of, equal parts love and chaos. But as we get better at it, we'll start picking out more love and less chaos, right? Because we dealt with our chaos. So that's not what we're going to be magnetizing to ourselves. That's a good way to look at it. You're like a giant magnet pulling to yourself everything that you emotionally vibe with. And when you look at it that way, it's easier to categorize everything and go, yeah, I was having a really shit day that day. It's no wonder my car broke down and I got stuck at every red light and I got a ticket and, my day was shit because I said it was. But then I had this other day where I woke up and the sun was shining and everything was freaking roses and kittens. And that's really what happened was fucking roses and kittens all day long and rainbows, fucking unicorns, poo and glitter everywhere, And it's amazing. But we have to take those amazing days and use them to counteract the ones that are not so amazing, but the ones that are not so amazing are usually the ones we're learning our best lessons from. It's the ones we're growing the most. And then the rest of it just makes it more worthwhile. So as we keep working through our shadows, which is going to keep getting easier and easier, life is going to get easier and easier. You're going to manifest things easier and easier because you're going to realize that you're not a beggar begging for things. And when I say ask, I really mean demand. I know that's hard, but the key to manifestation is knowing you already have it. So when you're like, please, 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 I really want to have this baby, or I really want to get married, or I really want to find my soulmate or my twin flame, or the perfect job, or the perfect house, or blah, 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 please bring it to me. And then you just sit there waiting for them to bring it to you, whoever them is, right? Remember, all you're really talking to is a higher aspect of yourself. You're going to be waiting for a long time. And you're just going to keep getting handed more reasons and more things that, are not really what you wanted. Because you're just getting what you're given instead of, going out and taking what you know is yours. Because we all resonate with certain things. And it depends on your emotional being, what you're resonating with. We all have so many different dimensions of self, it's ridiculous. All walking around in one little flesh suit. Which one are you accessing now? The aspect that doesn't feel good enough to have the life that you want, or the one that knows you already have it? It's just waiting for you to figure it out. And then are you following the breadcrumbs that the universe is giving you to get you there? And then allowing the process to happen. That's how it works. It sounds kind of oversimple, but most of life is. And we let our egos overcomplicate it. Right? Maybe we really do need to pay more attention to the way children behave. I, for one, never really had a childhood because I didn't let myself, because I didn't feel the adults in my life were responsible enough. So from the time I was little, I was literally constantly taking responsibility for myself and everyone else. Now, at this point in my life, I've done all that, and now I need to try and figure out how to have fun. It's a lot harder than it looks. You know? And that's been a huge battle for me. So part of that process was putting myself out there so that I knew I wasn't weird and crazy and bonkers, and that there was other people who resonated on my same level. Thank you guys all for showing up. You know? And hello, Linda. Welcome. And the more people we draw into our personal tribes, the, less weird and out there we'll feel, and the more mainstream things start becoming. I don't know about you, but 10 years down the road, us having this conversation that we're having right now would still be really woo-woo. Oh my God. Right? 15 years ago, I was still worried about being burned at the stake. Literally. I mean, come on. And in a way, I sort of did actually actively create that for myself a little bit when I was on Facebook. I had a family member who highly disagreed with what I was doing. He was of a certain religious sect that believes that we're devil worshippers, and he actively castigated me all over social media, which is part of the reason I'm not on social media anymore, because, nobody needs that kind of negativity, and I got sick of people flagging me all over the place for inappropriate and abusive content, just because I said maybe God's not some dude sitting in a chair in the sky watching everything you do, waiting to spank your ass for being an asshole when you get there. I don't really think, my opinion on religion is relevant, but, it is what it is. I personally believe that we're all part of Source, and God really is just the emotion that we call love, which is what everything comes from, right? It's not, and really, we're just judging ourselves here. We're already in our personal heaven or hell. When we go back to Source, there is nothing but Source. So obviously it's going to be a lot different than here. That's enough about that. Why don't we get into some cards, okay? And also, I think the moon shifts back into Pisces today. So if you guys are feeling a little heavy on the emotions, that could be why. And the moon does go void, of course. So it goes void at 11:01 p.m. until I want to say it's 10 in the morning tomorrow. 10:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So that would be like 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I think. And then a little bit before 8 o'clock in the morning when it goes into Pisces. So you may feel slightly discombobulated a little bit overnight. If you're interested in a reading, Beautiful Flower, you can contact me through the links in the box below. And then also my website is in the description box now too. It is the first link. Or if you're looking for a free card, you can always pop on Fridays when I pull free cards for everybody, but I'm not doing that today. I am going to do a very generalized collective reading, though, shortly, if you want to stick around. So you'll notice a little bit, you're kind of a little bit wobbly emotionally. And then that'll help. In the morning, it'll start to get a little bit better, and you might feel a little bit still emotional, but not so confused. You know what I mean? Not sure if that makes sense. I think we're going to start with the Earth Magic Oracle today. I haven't picked up Stephen D. Farmer's cards in a while, and they're kind of calling to me. And then I think we're going to use the Everyday Witch Tarot as well. Not sure what else we'll use. Oop. Got a jumper. Okay. So we were kind of talking about this a little bit yesterday, about a lot of people coming to the culmination of their personal event and shift. So watch out for those things that are happening. We have a lot of catalysts going on, and I said that at 2111. So I'm not sure if that number means anything for anybody, but definitely watch out for those catalyzing moments. They're going to be the things that kind of just crop up out of nowhere. Maybe something that you've really been stressing about for a long time, and then the situation is just resolved for you in an almost volcanic manner. That's happening quite a bit now for those people who have not really faced the things that they needed to, and kept kind of sweeping them under the rug and saying, I'll look at it later. Well, later's not. So just be aware. Those kinds of things are cropping up for people, and while it may not be something that you're directly involved in, it could be something you kind of may get caught in the crossfires of. But remember, you're strong, and part of strength isn't being immovable, but actually moving. Mountains actually move by several centimeters a year, believe it or not, and they're constantly growing. That is where your strength is. Small movement, constant growth, all the time, okay? And knowing that you can do it. All right, let's get one more. Music and harmony. Okay, a lot of people are finding a lot of emotional release, especially through music. It is also helping to harmonize a lot of people's relationships by having music playing in the background a lot. It's kind of a weird little mind trick, but if you're constantly occupying your brain with things of a musical frequency, it leaves your soul a little bit more rested. It's not constantly having to wrestle with your ego. I think I'm going to get one more. Oh, there it is. Oh, I got two. Okay, so we are definitely coming out of our reflection period from the last winter solstice. So this is going to be the time period where those things are reaching culmination. So whatever started happening around December, like right before Christmas, will be what is coming up now for you to relook at. If you did not deal with it then, but if you did, then, you're coming out of that darkest night and realizing that the sun's coming up finally, and new beginnings are just around the corner. So let's hop over to the Everyday Witch Tarot. Let's look at the energy that we are coming into for this week. There's 1, 2. Oh, we have a reappearance from yesterday in the 7 of Cups. We also have the Ace of Wands and the Three of Cups too. I'm just going to get one more. Okay, so we actually have a couple reappearances from yesterday. So first, we have the Ace of Wands. So right now we're starting to realize that, holy shit, we really are powerful and we really are creating these things in our lives depending on what our vibration is, right? She looks super freaking surprised that she just conjured this out of the nothing, right? It gives us a lot of options, and now we're not quite sure, well, where do we want to start? We have all these new abilities and all these new, I guess, knowledge points to work through. Where do we start? Duh, celebrating it with your friends. Go out and have fun. No, you're not a big weirdo and you're going right along schedule. Ascending, growing, evolving, becoming your spiritual higher self instead of, just another human that's going to live, work, and die. You want to establish something more in your life, right? And that's, where our best knowledge comes from. The joy of knowing that this whole experience is meant to be joyful, not a struggle. We're not here to struggle. This isn't a school. We're here just to experience who and what we really are, which is light and love and helpfulness, right? We're just here to help each other level up, each and every one of us. And here we have the Lovers again. The choice. What are you going to choose? Are you going to keep choosing the 3D fear-based reality, or are you going to step up and realize that you are the creator creating in every moment, in every way, every day? And that's where our biggest power really does lie, in knowing nobody's doing this to us. We're creating this ourselves with the energetic vibration that we're vibrating with. So if you feel like a piece of shit, you're going to be given more opportunities to feel like a piece of shit. If you're ready to level it up, let's do it together. You can start by just showing up for yourself in a little way every day. Yoga, meditation, joining me here on YouTube, listening to me ramble. All of it, self-care. And that's what we need to become, more self-caring. We've already figured out how to care for other people, right? We know ultimately that that's what we're here for. But if we're not caring for ourselves, we're not setting very good examples, are we? Be the example. That's really what you're here for. Be the example of what it means to be unconditionally loving, not only to everyone else, but to yourself as well. I think that's where I'm going to leave this off today. Seems to be what the message really is. Can you receive your own unconditional love? Can you shut up your own little internal judger and give her a blanket and tell her to take a fucking nap? Because her job's done. Now we can have fun and enjoy the lives that we're creating at this level. And in that way, we're going to keep creating and co-creating something that's even better. The more people we bring along with us by being the example. That's all we're really here to be. So go out. Be the light of love you are. Show everybody what it means to be truly unconditional loving to yourself so that they know what it looks like. Because you can't expect people to know how to treat you if you're not doing it, right? You're also the example of how to treat yourself for others, what's acceptable and what's not. So establish your boundaries. What are they? For you and for others. And then stand by them and watch how quickly your life changes. And if you want any help doing that, you know how to get a hold of me. My links are in the box below. Know that we here at Magic Wand Ministries love, appreciate, and are in full support of each and every one of you. And I couldn't do what I do without you. And I am eternally grateful. Bye now, everybody. Be good. And I'll see you tomorrow, actually at 7 a.m. So, 7 a.m. starts on Monday, and that's the new live stream time. So, I'll see all of you for our next Magical Monday. Bye now. Be good. And know you're worth it.